Hmm. Hey, yeah. But I'm not getting the stream now. It's not coming up. This is really weird. This is new live event. Oh, yeah, there it is. Sorry, folks. Things were not quite working as they should be, but now we are there. Hey, thank you for the thumbs up. We have, yes, the stream. It's the, it said the stream is health is good. I thought it said hella good. That's awesome. Sorry for the late starting event, but I wanted to do something a little different. And hey, and I wanted to really get started with a kind of a bang. When I say bang, I mean this. I mean, I wanted to start a fight, okay? And this is why I want to start a fight. Because just, I don't know, planetary alignments, just, issues with all things from politicians to the NFL to the one loser that keeps coming on thumbing down. And I think the bottom line is you may not like it, but so what? I like it. And to those people who are joining, I say welcome. And you would wonder, why am I saying Las Vegas, RJ, fake, Oakland Raiders, NFL, Stadium, FAA news, sports talk? And I'll tell you, I'm really exercised about this, folks. I do not like it, okay? Hey, how you doing? And Steve says, don't have a lot of time. Hey, how are you? Hey, by the way, for those of you who may have freezing, it's not freezing for me, but that doesn't mean it's not freezing for you. My recommendation is you restart your computer, clear your cache for your browser, and come back. And that happens all the time. So at any rate, now we're all here, I believe. Actually, 21 of us are here. How are you? And I'm going to tweet this out right now. Hey, Warriors, ML, everybody. I'm going to tweet this out again, big time, right now with Raider Nation, because I want to fight. And this is what I'm saying. Well, who am I saying I want to fight? I'm fighting right now. I'm fighting with my live stream, all right? And later I'm going to talk about TV of tomorrow. In fact, I might just do a backup stream, and I'll do that tomorrow. Here is my point. The Las Vegas Review-Journal put out an article saying that in fact, they really didn't say, they mentioned these FAA docs, right? Now, anybody who's a regular follower of my channel knows specifically that that if I refer to a document, I show you the document. I will more often than not take my camcorder and I will show you the document. Hey everybody, hey Raiderhand, how you doing? Where's John Marks? Hey everybody. Steve Macy, glad you're here. I will get right to the point so as to not, waste your valuable time here. Hello everybody, okay? Hello, all right? Here is my point. Barry Strong. Sheldon Ponder, I'll give you the latest. The latest is that the Raiders have submitted their documents, and I've made this mention of this before, to the Phoenix office of the FAA for evaluation. Now, anybody looking at the stadium who knows this project realizes the stadium comes up to maybe about almost 300 feet in height. That to say it's close to 200 feet is a stretch, okay? Among other reasons, because that's on a mound, right? Take a look at it. It's on a mound. So 250 feet, I'd say. So 260, definitely. 225, I wonder. So with that in mind, I read with great skepticism the Las Vegas Review-Journal article that came out Tuesday. And I thought, well, maybe it's on the FAA website. Maybe I missed it, because I've been looking for it, all right? and they refer to the document. But they then say, well, okay, it's not on the website because it was submitted late. Well, wait a minute. If you don't have the document, don't refer to the document as if you have it. If you have the news, refer to the source that told you about the document as coming from maybe as the Raiders, for example. But what they did was wrote an article that was based on an anonymous source, but they didn't even use the term anonymous source. They just threw it out there thinking that some of you, because this is how they think, some of you would be stupid enough to retweet it and repeat it. That's how they think. And that is how fake news spreads. The reality is this. You haven't seen the document. I haven't seen the document. And the Las Vegas Review-Journal hasn't seen the document because, as per their own history, if they had the document, they'd have posted it. But this time they were so desperate to keep up their page views and to keep up the freshness of the news about the Raiders for their site. And I'm not going to use the reporter name or the editor name. They did that, okay? It was, as Real Raider Jobby says, they got their source from the Trump administration. You know, this day and age, it wouldn't surprise me. But it's really awful. It is real. It's sick stuff to do, to play with the emotions of people who are paying attention to something. It's bad journalism. As one who does not call himself a journalist, I'm a blogger. I'm a video blogger, okay? It is bad. It is the kind of work that leads to people complaining about, well, of course, fake news. And then we ask the question, how are we supposed to determine between real news and fake? I'll help you. I'll help you. If you don't see a link to it, or an embed or a screenshot or something, the document doesn't exist. If the person was told not to show the document, and yet it has information, they should say that in the article. Complete authenticity. If they got their information about this document from a source, then what they should do is quite simply say that, hey, they talked to the source. The source doesn't want to be named, but the source is a high-placed Oakland Raiders official. Why did I say that? Because I believe the source is a high-placed Oakland Raiders official. Someone like Mark Bedane. Someone like Mark Bedane. I'm not saying it's necessarily him. But have you ever noticed that when the Raiders have to break news, they go they generally go just to the Las Vegas Review-Journal. No place else. Check it out. Awful. Now get your comments. Oakland Go Warriors says, let's see here. Hey, Christmas Geek. I don't know who Christmas Geek is. Skipping over Christmas Geek, going back over. Sheldon, that's the latest Raiders move. Now, hey there, and let's see here. I think I've gotten through those comments. Hey, Raider Hernandez, how are you? And Barry Lee says, tweet sent. Thank you, Barry. There's also another tweet that I put up out there, if you could retweet that. And Real Raider Juice, I like that comment. They got the source from the Trump administration. And the Real Noriega says, thanks for the truth, Zenny. You're welcome. And Gold Warrior says, hey, Zenny, it's sad when other people do the fake news. You don't do that, though. Nope, I don't. Sheldon, except when it's April Fool Day. But then you know it because it's Lerpa Sloof. That's April Fool spelled backward, okay? Joseph Jones says, Las Vegas News won't ask any questions because they need anything positive. Right. That's right. They are consistently pushing this positive angle. But let's pivot a little bit on the same subject and ask the question about what we don't know. We still don't know about the whole issue of stadium financing, right? And I believe it is this week that the Raiders are supposed to be meeting with the lenders, as they call themselves, the lenders, all right, or as they are called by the Raiders people, the lenders. We've heard absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And yet that question of the ability of the facility to pay for itself is still out there. And I say that because, look, the Raiders have a bond issue of their own with respect to Bank of America, a loan, a traditional loan that they have to pay for. And I hesitated because I was about to say have to figure out a way to pay for, but I would hope that they figured that out by now. And the bottom line is they're going to do it without any ancillary development around the property. And what does that mean? Well, let me show you what that means, okay? The Raider just says Mark borrowed money from Putin. I'm going to draw this as a diagram so I don't have to, draw you out and all that stuff, or drag you down to the looking at the screen and all that stuff. And just when I want to have a working pin, the pin doesn't work. So we're back to, I swear folks, every time I put a working pin up here, it disappears. It disappears. That's the most annoying and miraculous thing in the world. But that's fact. It disappears. So what I am left with is the need to do show and tell. And that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. Show and tell. Hold on a second. Let me do this. Russell Road. I'm going right to the map itself because I think that's in the end of the day going to be a better instructor for you, all right? Russell Road and Interstate 15 there, okay? And go to the map here. And had this Russell Road, Las Vegas, Russell Road, Interstate 15 there. I had this bookmarked at one point. So here we go. Here we go. Here we go. This is exactly what I want to show you. Right here. The artist rendition of the stadium property. And I want to enlarge this so that you can see what I'm talking about specifically. And that is not quite it. Yeah, actually that is it. This is perfect. Come with me, folks. Come with me to the sea. Da, da, da. There. All right. I know this is an unusual angle, but take a look at this. This is a new planned interchange. Right now, the Raiders Russell Road site is here. Look around. There is no ancillary development opportunity that is directly adjacent to the building. It's all developed. You would have to buy the properties and redevelop the land, okay? It's not there. It's simply not there, okay? That's what you're looking at. So that's the T-Mobile Arena where the Las Vegas Golden Knights play. And yeah, I'm going to go to a Golden Knights game. I'm definitely, time and money able, willing. I'm going to go to a Golden Knights game. I think pro sports in Las Vegas, particularly hockey, is an exciting thing. Again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I just don't like the idea of the Raiders. But my point is that, getting back to the loan, simply that Bank of America has issued a loan. Well, they haven't issued it. They're planning a loan with the Raiders. And it's said by some to be $850 million, $950 million when all is said and done. The bottom line is, and I loved using that term bottom line, point of my last calculations on this, there will be a $27 million annual deficit. Now, I know the consultants hate it when I reissue these statements, but no one has shown a spreadsheet that demonstrates with all known information that the stadium will pencil out. I haven't seen it. And if you're watching this and you've seen it, send me an email. Attach the file. Send an email to Zenny at zenny62.com. This is a very dicey issue because Las Vegas is not known for a powerful corporate base other than casinos. And the NFL still has a kind of a crazy ban given the Raiders' moves on gambling. But it's there for some very good and just reasons. It has a prohibition on doing business with gambling interests, which is there for some very good reasons. And there are people like Lee Steinberg, and you've heard Lee Steinberg on my show say that gambling and sports should not mix. Now, that idea is going to be put to the test by the U.S. Supreme Court very soon, because New Jersey gambling interests have been battling with the NFL and other sports on this for some time, and they have gained a small victory in at least getting the United States Supreme Court to hear their case. That case, believe it or not, will have a dramatic impact on the success or failure of this plan for the NFL to be in Las Vegas. And I don't care what team it is. I don't care if it's the Jaguars. I don't care if it's, and it's hard for me to say, the other team, because the Oakland Raiders are just that. I don't care if it's the Dallas Cowboys, to which if Jerry Jones likes the Cowboys so much, he ought to arrange for them to be kind of a portable team, They play a little bit of time at Cowboy Stadium, and they have another Cowboy Stadium in Las Vegas, like their satellite stadium, right? And go back and forth. If he likes Las Vegas so much, why put somebody else's fan base in the position that he has put Raider fans in? You understand what I'm saying? But I digress. Yeah, it's not cool, all right? That is just not cool for him to do. In fact, he probably have a better go of it because of his ability to, string one business together, venture together with another, right? I definitely think that's the case. You ask what I'm doing here. I've got something for you here. I want to share with you. I've shared it with you before, but it bears repeating. It certainly bears repeating. It certainly bears another taste, all right? So I want to walk you through this. It's going to make some people mad, but you know what? That's sometimes what happens when you're dealing with people on the other side putting out fake news and fake ideas. Just saying. All right? I'm just saying. Now, let me get back to your comments. Barry Lee was right. He says it's the blind leading the blind. Steve Collins says, what are the use of collateral? Mark can't use the Raiders. They use the leasehold on the facility itself. So basically, what they're using is the Raiders' rent that it pays, or is going to pay, is considered the loan payment amount. In other words, in a standard situation, the Raiders would have to pay two streams of money. One to stadium rent, and the other to Bank of America. But what they succeeded in doing was making that one string. Yeah, I'm printing something. Okay. I made it one string. Sheldon says, Zinni for president. Thank you. Benjamin West says, very good point about Jerry Jones. It's easy for him because no real risk for the Cowboys. Right. Go Warriors says, hey, Zinni, that's the ugliest interchange I've ever seen in Vegas. Well, it's not even built yet. It's planned, okay? And Steve Barry Lee says, could it be that these lenders don't require collateral? No. The collateral is the leasehold. Don't ever think there's a lender that does not require collateral. A lender that does not require collateral is not a lender. That person is an investor, okay? So that's what happens. If the Raiders can't pay, now this is what I'm talking about, all right? To what degree you can see this, I do not know. But I'm going to zero you in on one number of importance, okay? And it's negative. It's this one. See that? Right there. Negative 27 million annually. That's the impact the Bank of America loan has on the Raiders deal, according to the numbers from the Southern Nevada Tourism Infrastructure Committee last year. Okay? So that is what stands. No one has refuted that. You would say, why is it negative 27 million? Well, I'm happy to tell you. Because we're talking about, first of all, the debt service, the total loss here is $694 million. Excuse me, $964 million. Total project operating cash flow over 30 years is a negative $964 million. The free stadium operating cash flow is a negative $514 million. The total debt service and capital is $1.111 billion. The Bank of America development loan here with LIBOR is $676 million. The capital expenditure for the stadium is $75 million. That's from the SNTIC. And the SNTIC had its own debt service for other loans, which totaled $360 million. Even if you take that out, the numbers still look bad. In fact, it's precisely what I'm going to do right now to reiterate that point. If I take this and make it 0, this that I'm talking about is the other debt service. It still comes out to total project operating cash flow of a negative $604 million. That's over the 30-year period. And a free stadium operating cash flow of a negative $154 million over that same 30-year period, okay? So that's just with the Bank of America loan. Now, you say, what do the revenues look like? The total event revenue. Now, remember, that's assuming the high event number of over 46 events, 50. $934 million. Total non-event revenue, $309 million. Total stadium revenue, $1.2 billion. $1,243 million. Estimated stadium operating expenses. This is all from the SNTIC. What's the SNTIC? It's the Southern Nevada Tourism Infrastructure Committee. $646 million. All right? So you have, and then what I added in that the NFL and the Raiders got mad at me about was the infrastructure issue. Okay? Because we started off last year, the land and infrastructure cost at $375 million. But the law, the Southern Nevada Tourism Improvement Act, says that the Raiders have to pay an adequate amount of a total off-site transportation infrastructure cost that is to be estimated by the Nevada Department of Transportation. They did that estimation. It was $900 million. I've said this before, right? So let's say we split the difference. That's $450 million the Raiders have to pay, right? Now, if you have doubts about this, consider what Steve Sisolak said in his own YouTube video about a month ago, 3 weeks ago, when he said that the Raiders were looking around for additional land for parking off-site. Well, guess what? You have to put that in. Why? That's part of transportation infrastructure. Because they have to buy that land. So if they have to buy that land, let's say that land's going to be about $50 to $100 million alone. They have to pay for an interchange. That's $200 million. So now we're looking at $300 million at tops already. So we're just $150 million short right there from the $450 million estimate that people told me I was wrong about, without offering another, dollar amount. So there we are. I'll go back to your comments. Now, the question says extension of monorail. That is possible, but here's the problem is that the monorail extension of itself does not have the carrying throughput capacity to make up the difference. But it is definitely needed. 831 Scott says, I still haven't heard anything from B of A. Right. You would think they would go public if the details were worked out and the loan was approved. What's the holdup? Well, the holdup, first of all, is that I'm going to say this and be fair to them. No one knows what this thing is really going to look like. The lenders don't know. Remember, the Raiders started this by partnering with the Chargers for Carson. They took that design created by Manica Architects and they basically ported the design in a fit of pick over to Las Vegas without asking, is this really the right design? They did it as a money-saving move. Well, we'll use this and we'll get Uncle Sheldy to pay for the rest. To which I think Uncle Sheldy has already paid for the rest last year before he bowed out. I still hold with the assertion that Las Vegas Sands put in a significant amount of pre-development money up front that allowed the Raiders to eventually buy the property on Russell Road, or at least put down this kind of option for it that they turned into a purchase, but still isn't quite settled because they're still doing boring samples and all this stuff, right? And they're being very quiet about that, if you noticed. They're being very quiet about that. So, now, okay, now we've got Buenas noches, Zinni. What did I miss? Hey, Jabber, welcome. How are you? Well, by the way, anyone who wants to donate via Super Chat, it is more than welcome and actually quite desired. Your Super Chat money. Thank you very much, Patrick. And I owe you a spreadsheet update. That's a $5 contribution. That really goes a great deal toward making it possible for me to bring you live guests from live locations and all the other plans I have in the future for this broadcast. Because that's what it is. This is television of tomorrow, folks. And I say that in celebration of my friend Tracy Swedlow's TV of Tomorrow forum in San Francisco at the Presidio in Golden Gate, in the Golden Gate area of Presidio, tomorrow, Wednesday through Thursday. But I digress, because I want to talk more about TV of Tomorrow. In fact, tomorrow I'm going to do a TV of Tomorrow live vlog about what she's doing, as much as I can explain from here about what's happening there. So, let's see, I've got Patrick now. We've got, let's see here. Silver and Black Oakland has the great hashtags. Basically, we stand with Oakland. Do not forget to go to the GoFundMe account, GoFundMe.com/We Stand With Oakland. If you see Russell Rivera's name, you come to the right place. Donate. And Sheldon says I have the real news. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. If you want to support real news, do what Patrick did. I don't care. Hey, if it's $1 or $2, thank you. Every little bit helps. It really does. Now, and when you add the money, you're put on a list of microangel investors, and you actually own a piece of Zenny62 Media. That's not a joke. Barry Lee and others have already got their emails reporting their shares, right, Barry Lee? So, and so yeah, I did. Oh, I got two $5 super chats from Patrick. Thank you. I'll note that right now, Barry, that I got 2 from him. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. I'm gonna put that right here and note that. Thank you. 2 and Patrick. That's total. Got that. All right. Thank you so much for informing me of that. Right there. Now we've got back to your 831 Scott says iPhone will not let me donate, but hey, 831 Scott, you're here. That's all that matters. You are here. You are here. Thank you. And Scott of Kingman says Jack Slammy is pretty vocal on this. Who's Jack Slammy? Who is Jack Slammy? Jack Slammy. That's funny. Jabber, it's great to see him, man. If I didn't say so myself. Is Steve Sisolak called Jack Slammy? Is that the new nickname for him? Hey, Joshua, I agree. How are you doing? Todd Christensen, how are you? Haley Mew, yo, how you doing, Haley? Welcome, welcome, welcome. And Sheldon says the whole Raider issue is a head scratcher to understand. And why is that? Why is it a head scratcher to you? Oh, Mike R says, then you have not said one word about the AltNet Stadium that is under construction in the north end of the Vegas Strip for a future NBA team. And Mike, that's because I don't know much about it. So I'm happy to talk about it when I know something about it. And I'll do the homework and come back and have some information. But I'm not going to, talk out of my you-know-what about something I don't know about. However, I will say this. There is a market for basketball in Las Vegas. But of all of the sports, I just have to be blunt, basketball has the best prospect to work with tourists. The NBA All-Star Game proved that. Now, I know there are people in Las Vegas that didn't like the clientele, right? But you cannot deny they came. You cannot deny that Las Vegas was a party for that. That is undeniable. A popular Las Vegas-based NBA team would be great for everybody. It really would. An expansion team, not a team that relocated from someplace else. An expansion team. Las Vegas needs teams that are of its own. But I will say this. If it's too bad it's not a T-Mobile Arena. If it's, you know it's going to be located, by the way, when you talk about the, and Mike Lowry asked, a great question. Why would the basketball team just play at T-Mobile Arena? Why build a new stadium? Which is an excellent question. That's why I don't know anything about what he's talking about, because I don't like to spread fake news. I don't know who this fellow is. He may be the progenitor of fake news, but I can, find out if that's the case right now, right? Because I don't want to insult anybody. So hold on a second. Let's see, he calls it the AltNet Stadium that is under construction at the north end of the Vegas Strip for a future NBA team. So let's see if Mike R's is peddling fake news or not. We're going to find out in a jiffy. And it's called the AltNet Resort and Arena. It's actually quite a lovely establishment. Its capacity is, hey, I'm John Marks, how you doing? Estimated, this is planned 22,800. The construction cost will be choke 1.4 billion, and it's planned to be open in 2019. And it's a project of businessman and former basketball player Jackie Robinson, former basketball player. The complex would encompass a resort, hotel, retail, and the work has begun on the site. And that was as of March 14th of this year. And that's great news. So that's really great news. I'm going to show these pictures. That's exciting. And so this is an African American business person. Is that it? I think this is really exciting. I'm glad this was brought to my attention. I'm really glad this was brought to my attention. And in here, right now, is the review journal and the stadium, and I'm talking about the arena. And for some reason that picture I had didn't. Let me show you what I'm looking at here. I'm going to bring you down here, have a look at this, and I want to thank Mike for bringing this to my attention. I think it's quite, excuse me, I think it's quite exciting. Hold on a second. Let me see. Go back. I'm trying to go back here. There it is. All right. So that's not the stadium. That is the Las Vegas arena, but that's not the that's the other arena. This is the AltNet arena he's talking about. This is AltNet arena site, okay? There's another artist rendition. All right. Here it is. It's been a long day in delay, and now it's getting going. And that's another artist rendition of the arena as well. That's an earlier one. Coming. That's the other arena. Okay, so there we go. Let me see if there are any videos attached to this. Videos. No, there aren't. Well, wait a minute. AltNet Resorts and Arena Update. And this is by Vital Vegas, okay? So this is the AltNet. I keep saying AltNet. I mean AltNet Resort, all right? And they've got some sort of drone that's flown over the property to take a picture of the land. And that's the drone shot, okay? But they don't have here, if we stop it, if you take a look at where this is, the Fontainebleau Hotel is here. The old Riviera was just over here. This was, you know, that, and then you've got apartments. Actually, the old Riviera was over here. I apologize. So, no, there's no slated basketball team to go here. The idea is that it's planned for basketball, among other things. But this is the site itself, okay? Now, what's new here is that you now have this earth-moving equipment in place, okay? Which is now, well, moving the earth, all right? And I've seen this video before, okay? So there we go. That was as of April 23rd of this year for the arena. Oh, hold on a second. Let me go back because I believe would have been able to find something else. No, I don't see any other video about it. And yeah, that's about it, really. I don't have anything that really is a definitive good video about this proposed arena. You know, nothing here. It would be fun to get somebody on to talk about it. The Wikipedia, all right. So there we go. Thank you for telling me about that. And you know, I'm glad you did. Like I say, I don't like to just assume that because somebody writes a comment, it's you know, confirmed, right? I like to confirm it myself. It is again a project of businessman, former basketball player Jackie Robinson, and the complex would encompass a resort, hotel, restaurant, and retail streetscape, and a multi-purpose indoor arena. Get this, with a retractable roof. Okay, he doesn't have a video model of this. Ooh. Its location is set on the Strip on the former site of the Wet n Wild Park. In fact, this is the site that at one point came up in the SNTIC discussions for the Raiders issue, okay? But it was quickly debunked. It's right next to SLS Las Vegas, which is just, by the way, changed hands in sale. Now, Irish says there's no funding for the new arena, but It was supposed to open this year, right? And Mike says that they're talking to Clippers and Pelicans about relocating. That would be exciting. And there's a whole history here, a whole Wikipedia. I'm going to do more research on it because, look, I'm a sucker for new developments. I have to say, my background's in urban planning, and hey, someone contributed $20. T, who is that? The real Noriega. $20. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you. And I will put you down. Hey, would you please send me an email to Zenny at Zenny62 so I can send you your shares report along with, and where you stand with everybody else's. Basically what I'm talking about as far as shares report is I consider you, when you do that, a micro angel investor, not just somebody who's just giving money, but there are 30% of our our total corporate value of $201,000 is unallocated. And when you put in $20, $5 too, you own a piece. That way, if Zenny 62 Media is acquired, in that sale, you get your chunk. That's right there in writing. And that is something that is done with angel investors all the time through history. It is not something you can resell on a secondary market. I am not creating my own market or anything like that. Please do not get that misconstrued. Anyone who does, no. They be sadly mistaken. But I digress because I want to talk about whether or not Las Vegas can handle this. Now, Mike, again, thank you very, very much for that, and thank you, Noriega. Now, Jabber says, now we have a difference of opinion here. One person says the stadium is not privately financed. Jabber says all privately funded already, had a few hiccups along the way and delayed the project by 2 years. Hey, Jabber, let's find out. There's not much more about this Jackie Robinson gentleman. And they said professional basketball player Jackie Robinson. So I'm gonna take his name and put all stadium and say I meant to copy the whole thing and said I got Aki Robinson instead of Jackie Robinson. And it does say, according to News 3, that something is happening. It's getting busy. This was on March 14th. So the News 3 report corresponds to the video, the drone flight that you saw. And those drones are pretty handy, aren't they? Vital Las Vegas says that it's being pushed around this dirt. And let's see here. Not much about, Jackie Robinson seeking to bring NBA franchise to AltNet Arena right now. Hey, and I'll tell you what, if anybody has connections with Mr. Robinson, I'd love to get him on and talk with him. That would be a lot of fun, okay? That would be a ton of fun to get him on and have him on the live stream, you know what I mean? So see, Las Vegas people, I'm not anti-Las Vegas. I am, however, anti the idea of the Raiders being there. So, okay. So, yeah, this started May 13th, 2014. Businessman, a former UNLV and NBA player. See, Jackie Robinson being a UNLV alum would also have an interesting take and perhaps some insider news regarding the Raiders' negotiations with University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and how well they are or are not going, right? Something else we haven't heard a lot about. So, there we go. And he said that he's got the massive project boosts a powerful team, including China Construction America, Plaza Construction, and he says he's strongly supported Robinson's by Mobile, Alabama MBDA Center, federally funded by the U.S. Department of Commerce Minority Business Development Agency, and a cast of others. So I don't know the ins and outs of why this delay has. I'm sure many of you chiming in right now do. And Irish says the next pro team Vegas gets will be MLS. But is this arena? Well, no, I don't. It's a basketball arena, so how could it be sized for soccer, right? Or it could be. But have I heard from Ronnie a lot lately? Ronnie, for all practical purposes, Rick Rice did crawl into a hole. He did. Hey, Go Warriors, hey, I'll see you. And you got it Thursday. Too bad Octavio Arias isn't on. I'd like to get a group of you on. Hey, Jack Bauer. And we're talking about on live, on the Skype stream. And Mike R says, T-Mobile was built for the Vegas Golden Knights and concerts only. Robinson was UNLV basketball player. Hey, Mr. R, Mike, why is it that the owner of the Las Vegas Golden Knights, not only at T-Mobile, wouldn't want the additional numbers of events that basketball, professional basketball, NBA basketball brings? I mean, has anyone asked that question? Or is it a matter of just ego? Because that arena, just like Oracle Arena, can accommodate basketball. Okay? So I'm curious, do you know what the answer to that question might be? Hey, Maniac, how are you doing? And, hey, John Marks, I did get your email about that, but my question is, did you get my response? Now, Go Warrior says, hey, Zinni, I knew when this Las Vegas deal was planned, the gambling was going to try and illegally force its way into the NFL stadium, and that the NFL doesn't allow or want it in its stadiums. It ain't cool. Goodbye. Hey, have a good night, Go Warriors. And say hello to the parents, by the way, if they happen to be watching. Hello. Steve Collins says, expansion is the only way to go. Doesn't hurt other fan bases. Vegas will have a tourist fan base, whole different ball game. No pun intended. Irish ND says, the Las Vegas Golden Knights want to get their fan base before any other pro team comes into Vegas. And so with that, I would think they were really upset about this whole whole Raiders issue, right? Because, I mean, I'm being blunt. Las Vegas economy is very price sensitive. The residents are with respect to sports. And that little bitty market, including the businesses, I can see being cannibalized real quick. I mean, real fast. And someone, ostensibly the Raiders, will be left holding the bag in that situation, which is why I'm surprised the NFL is even allowing this, and why I'm surprised the lenders are not trying to talk some sense in the Mark Vegas. Without ancillary development, it's harder to make these numbers work. So, Rick Rice says, rugby should be introduced in the States. I love me some rugby. I think it get pretty popular once people learn the rules. I think you're right about that. I love women's rugby, okay? I'm a big fan of women's rugby. I really am. Now, Irish and says, Golden Knights have sold out their season tickets. Hey, but Irish, what about the luxury boxes? The season tickets were not so much the issue with me. My contention was that the market was not big enough for them to sell out the luxury box base. That the demand wasn't there. So my question to you is, have they sold out their luxury boxes? That's my question. So Haley Hyde says, how I'd like to see hurling brought to the NFL. Hurling? You mean like in bars where you get drunk? Oh, hurling! You mean curling? I know, whatever. The whole point is, Big Eightful says, Vegas is not New York or Los Angeles, even San Francisco. This could get very ugly quick. I would say it could get very ugly very quick. Absolutely. Now, Maximo Castillo says something about Argentina, which calls for a translation, which doesn't have a translate system there. Whatever. Joseph has Joseph True says, I have a friend in real estate in Reno. He's getting a lot of people relocating from Vegas due to the high-paying jobs in Vegas. Whoa, okay. Maybe that like the Tesla jobs. That's a new development, because in the overall scheme of things, I would say that the reason they're moving is the high pay relative to the comparatively low cost of living to the Bay Area, right? And so, got it, John. Sure. Mike R says MGM Corporation owns T-Mobile Arena. They have an exclusive contract with the NHL. Right. Do you think that? So who? Is there any casino that's taking a sniff? You know, I have a contact at MGM. I'll ask that contact about it. And that's interesting to follow up on. Now, Corvette says maybe the NFL owners want Raiders franchise to fail for all the trouble I'll cause. You know, if that's the case, that's really sad. Irish says UNLV is also selling recruits on being able to play in the new stadium with the Raiders. But Irish, the question that I have is, where are the negotiations? Because I'm not convinced the Raiders want to play fair with UNLV in that situation. They've had almost a year and a half of a relationship with UNLV. Nothing has happened. This goes all the way back to January of 2016 when Mark Davis met Sheldon Adelson and UNLV president Lynn Jessup to tour the original Tropicana site, which did not pan out. Then, of course, there was the ill-fated lease proposal that came out earlier this year, the one that caused, because the Raiders handled it, the way the Raiders handled it, Sheldon Adelson the jump, which, you know, one could say it was planned, but the bottom line is Las Vegas Sands, it says it wasn't. And if it's a secret out there, then someone's keeping it a really, really good secret. So my question is, okay, you know, all well and good, but UNLV knows that if the negotiations with the Raiders fall through, all of the stadium rights can revert to UNLV. So UNLV is in the driver's seat. UNLV has all the desire in the world to play hardball. You see what I'm getting at? Because before the Raiders stepped into this whole thing was supposed to be for UNLV. Remember that. Now, we've got, Rick Rice says, the Raiders or Chargers should have gone to Vegas. 2 teams in LA will be a disaster. I think one NFL team in Las Vegas is going to be a disaster. I know they want to go there for the Super Bowls, okay, as a friend of mine told me. But, look, they're not going to make that much money from a Super Bowl unless they're going to get part of the gambling receipts. If that's their intent, the NFL, then they really are talking out of both sides of their mouth with respect to how to deal with a gambling situation. And they need to get that cleared up before it comes back and bites them in ways that I can't, well, I could predict, but not right here sitting on my tush at this moment. Now, Zeitgeist says, so Mark is giving up on his father's dream of the Raiders owning their own stadium, which is what I said to Eric Grubman, all right? I said that, and I pointed this out to him at the the Houston NFL owners meeting last year, and I said to him that when we were negotiating with the Raiders, the idea was always for the Raiders to own the land in the stadium. When the Raiders originally came back from Los Angeles, the first master lease agreement had the Raiders owning 51% of the Coliseum. What did that consist of? It consisted of the East Side Club, which you have been to. But when the PSL sales went south, that called for a rewriting of the master lease agreement and for the city and the county to own the stadium because of the bond issue responsibilities, because the bond as per the need to prevent the bonds from defaulting. Okay, so that's how we got to that. But the Raiders, but the Raiders have always wanted that. So yeah, it's very fishy to me that they would be in that situation. I remember I said that to Grubman, but Grubman said to me, Zinni, isn't it the same thing if they control the revenue stream? My answer is, if you have a 30-year lease, and this is why signing a non-relocation agreement is so important, why so many teams have done it, okay? Because if you have that 30-year lease and you have this non-relocation agreement signed, it's as if you're saying, I'm going to stay in my home for 30 years, and the total, well, mortgage value, if you like, is part of my franchise value because of that. That's what the league is essentially trying to get the Raiders to wrap its collective mind around. By that I mean Bourdain in Vegas. Because other teams, like the Atlanta Falcons, have signed non-relocation agreements. So, now says, so, bro, why is this on... I have no idea what that question's about. ML Scott says, how hard would it be to start a NFL expansion team in Las Vegas? What would the process be, an NFL expansion team? Well, first of all, you would have to have the NFL Hey, thanks, Barry Lee. First of all, you would have to have the NFL express a desire to expand in Las Vegas, coupled with an aggressive push by Las Vegas to be a city for the NFL to expand in. A. B. The rest of the process is pretty much what Las Vegas has done and Nevada has done now, what with the SNTIC meetings of last year and all of this, the pre-development work that has gone on to this point. Then you need a group of owners. And that group of owners would have to have collectively the ability to pay, by my estimation, $1,400,000,000 franchise fee. That comes from nobody else but me. Okay? And where I disagree with you, Irish, on the expansion team issue. I completely disagree with you. 1,000% disagree with you there. But, and I contend that for an expansion team to work in Vegas, you can't just build a stadium. You have to build a stadium and ancillary development. You need the development to produce revenue, to pay for the stadium. Even with that subsidy, that's what the Raiders have right now. Because even with that $750 million subsidy, the simple fact of the matter is the original plan for Raider Stadium called for ancillary development and it called for a use of tax increment financing revenue monies in a district, which in total would have pushed the public contribution to well over $1 billion. I mean, it would have been the ultimate political job killer, to the point where Steve Sisolak, who's talking about running for governor, forget it. I mean, he can run right now, but the bottom line is his fortune in politics is now tied to the success or failure of the Raiders Las Vegas plan. That's just a simple fact. Now, Rick Rice, I'm trending? All right. Thank you. John Mark says, and again, Noriega, thank you for $20. That is the highest single contribution anyone has ever given on a broadcast to date here. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. That the only well, other than Barry Lee's purchase of the $31 t-shirt, that's the only other equivalent. Thank you very much. And then Patrick has contributed the most in terms of $5 increments. So it's been fantastic, and thank you. And I'm glad that I'm able to do this in a way that it builds value for you and for Zenny 62 Media. So I'm just reaching for hey man, get them as a sponsor one day, right? So now Mike R says, Zen, do you know the off-site utilities being installed in the west end of the Raiders project? Do I know? Well, hey Mike, we haven't gotten to a point where the development plan is at anywhere near done, so we don't know what the utility requirements are going to be. For example, the amount of water gallons that are released when people go to the bathrooms at halftime and they flush, that has to have the proper sewage infrastructure to handle it. So right now, I can tell you right now, that is not even there on the property. Not there, okay? And the other discussion is, how much money does it take in terms of, when I think of infrastructure costs, I think of that. And if they're saying that's $350 million, I think they need to up it by $100 million. They need a contingency for that. This is a project that is so complex in an area that has never seen anything like it, that it is fraught with maladies. It just is. ML, thank you for $10. Thank you. Oh, this has been fantastic. Thank you. Well, this has been a great night. Thank you. Oh, Joseph True, who's really chiming in with some great comments. He says $750 million could have been spent on Las Vegas education. Why aren't Las Vegas residents in uproar recalling all reps? I think for, hey Karen, Mr. Christensen, how are you? I'll get to your comment in a second. Uh, I think for the same reason that voter turnout has been historically low. We are in a generation of people who don't feel that government can, help them. But ironically enough, they do everything they can to prove it by not voting. So we get, by not voting, a new Supreme Court justice who weighs in on the travel ban, and next thing you know, you have a limited travel ban, right? I mean, I can go on and on and on. All these, that reflects how important it is to vote. Miss Christensen, hello, do you think that when the Coliseum is torn down, if it is, commemorative pieces can be sold? Maybe the proceeds can go to the new stadium in Oakland or a charity issue. I sure would like to have one. I think it's a great idea. I haven't. Yeah, Barry, it's a great take. That's a great idea. And yeah, absolutely. And Irish ND says Vegas gets around 350,000 to 400,000 more for New Year's. I think they know how toilets work. I'm not saying they don't know how toilets work. Brilliant comment, Irish ND. Brilliant comment. I'm not saying they don't. I'm not saying that. But what I'm talking about is the expense of building. I never assume, because you're new to this, I never assume that anyone, and my background's in urban planning, anybody has figured it all out until they showed me that they figured it all out. And even then, I'm going to ask questions about how they claim they figured it all out. Because I like to learn. I love this stuff. I love development work. My my teenage hero in high school when I was in planning school and studying architecture and drafting was John Portman. You would say, who's John Portman? John Portman was the architect that created the Hyatt Regency concept. What do I mean by that? The atriums. If you've gone to the Hyatt Regency San Francisco, the atrium, that's John Portman. The Hyatt Regency Chicago, the atrium, that's John Portman. Yeah, Hyatt Regency Atlanta, that atrium, where John Portman and Portman Associates is located, that's John Portman. So those are the three key signature examples of the great contribution to American culture that John Portman has given us. And I have always been a fan of monumental architecture. And I can think of few better examples of monumental architecture than stadiums. So there you go. Now, I love them. So, at any rate, Ms. Zeitgeist says, Republicans stole a Supreme Court seat. Gorsuch seat belongs to Merrick Garland. You're correct, and I stand corrected. Henry Flores. Henry, how are you? Mr. Psychotherapist, right? I think it is. He's not kidding. He is a psychotherapist. Henry Flores says, Zinni, I have done research on the attorneys at Forever Local Never Retained. It looks like Mark Davis and the NFL are in big trouble. Yep, they are in huge trouble. And they are in gigantic trouble. But not only that, while we're talking about it, I'm going to put up a link here, so that you can go and donate to the Forever Oakland, the GoFundMe for Forever Oakland. Right here, hold on a second. GoFundMe.com. We Stand with Oakland. I'm going to put that link up here momentarily. And right here, there's the link. We Stand with Oakland right there. There you go. Now, and John Marks, I think they're looking for you if you haven't found them already. Oh, wait a minute. I got another donation from, this is great. I feel like this is the, this donation came from ML Scott. ML, once again, thank you. Wow. This is like the challenge grant. This is fantastic. Wow, this really, I'm going to tell you, this has been a hard week, folks. So you guys are really coming through. John Marks, I believe Russ Rivera is looking out for you, and so is Grizz. Send me an email, and I'll send you his, I'll give you his cell phone number. This has been a very hard week for me, so you all have no idea how big this is. This has really been great because I've had great clients over the years, but I think things go, and I'm candid. I have made a living off of extemporaneously speaking via video, And, I tell you about my successes. Whoa, wait a minute. Got another one from 831 Scott, $50. Oh, that's fantastic. 831 Scott, please send me, this is fantastic. Please send me your email so that I can put you on the Micro Angel Investor Grant. 831 Scott, 50. So we got, I'm keeping the tally here, right down below. So I've got, and hey, and Patrick and Barry Lee, keep a tally for me as well too, so I don't make any mistakes. I've got ML for 50 here, and then 831 Scott, Scott, I believe 30 here, right? Then I've got Patrick here. Okay, I've already got Patrick listed there. Yeah. And wow, this has been incredible. This is incredible. Wow, incredible. Yeah. Yeah, Rick Rice says, "Damn, I'm in the wrong business." Hey, Rick, I'm telling you, man, this doesn't happen every day, okay? And but I'm telling you, this really is. I'm more than blessed and thankful tonight. Thank you very much. That's fantastic. And wow, man, yeah, I have. That's fantastic, especially since YouTube has been really screwing around with me, and it's not anything to do with trolls or that. It's just that I believe what YouTube is trying to do is squeeze out people that have views as less demographically desirable. That is, older. I'm 54, 55, Zinni 62, right? And, African American. If you look at the people they push, they tend to be young and white. And that's a fact. I always thought, I always supined that a lot of these views, because, you can buy views, right? And you can, which I haven't done, and you can buy, in fact, if you buy views, they will yank your account. They used to do it a lot in the past. I've seen people get subscribers too. I remember a guy that was on with me about 11 years, he was a contributor 9 years ago, started his own channel, turned around, he had 83,000 subscribers, like from nowhere. He went from 0 to 83,000 in like a month. Turned out he bought them. And then guess what? After a few months of flying high, they yanked his channel. Gone. Sad. So it's to do it right is hard work. And then on the flip side, there are people in YouTube who have their favorites and they take care of their favorites. Like even in Twitter, there was a woman whose name I will not know, had a relationship with a Twitter engineer, and next thing you know, she had 1 million followers. This is legion. This is fact. So it's the whole idea about someone being better than you because they have more likes and all that. Don't believe it. They're not. Lucky, sure. Engineered something, yeah. Bought something, more than likely, but better than you, no. Because a lot of younger folks like, Go Warriors and others who are in their teens and 20s think that. Don't think that. But this does take hard work. And YouTube is not handling its loyal contributors properly, and I'm one of them. I've been on YouTube since April 29th of 2006. And I've been a YouTube partner since 2008. But I digress. Enough of that. I just am very happy. Yeah, John Mark says he's going to do it old-fashioned way. Smith and Barney. Henry Floyd says, Zinni, with all that in regards to urban planning, does it frustrate you what the Raiders are doing? Yes! Steve Collins says, 50 versus 31, Barry. It's a joke. Donna says, GOP suffered a defeat. They're on their way. Memo Guy says, you can not only buy views, but also buy likes and dislikes. That's right. I mean, it's not cool. And now Rick Rice says, it shows how much people appreciate your work, Zinni. You the man. No, you guys are the people that get me going. I had trepidations about doing this, but I love this. This is great. It's the ability to talk to people about news and impart information and be corrected and have a dialogue and they have others on and help them tell their stories. Yeah, So ML Scott, he says thank you very much. He says we believe in you, Zinni. Steve Collins says just tore up High Roller Barry in his T-shirt. Yeah, Barry, you're high. You were flying high, man. You're like way up there, like way up in the stratosphere. Oh my God, 90. Wow. So slot machine playing the party playing. Yeah, the slot machine is. But you know what? It just goes to show you that there are people on here who appreciate news, delivered honestly and fairly. That's the one thing that no one can say. No one can ever say, hey, Zinni, you were not honest with us about how you feel about the Raiders in Vegas or where you're coming from. I'll always say where I'm coming from. Like JT the Brick, I consider a friend of mine. I do not agree with JT the Brick. JT has a tendency to, feed the Raider line all the time. I object to that. But I like JT like a brother. I say that. I love him like a brother. Because over the years, he's just a cool person. Okay? I mean, he's just got a great vibe. We both love the Raiders. The bottom line, however, is we have a strong disagreement about this and the stadium issue. Really strong. It would be great to have him on sometime to talk about it. I'd love to. I never actually reached out to him to see if that was possible. And I will do so. I will do so. Buenas noches, me gusta. Ruben Ortiz, how are you, sir? Welcome. Donis, how are you? Does YouTube favor the Young Turks? Asked Donis. Yeah, the Young Turks are actually at the event tomorrow, my friend's event, Television of Tomorrow. But they do favor the Young Turks. But on the other hand, Cenk Uygur has put... Cenk Uygur, the one thing that I can still do but did not do is he put together a group. And that's the one thing, folks. When you do this, don't do it alone. Do it with friends. Almost every platform I can think of that has gotten big did so on its own. And I paused for a specific reason. Because I was thinking Perez Hilton. Perez Hilton's blog is worth $40 million. Okay? That's his. But he does have a team with him. Bleacher Report. Great example of what I'm talking about. There are others too. Yardbarker. Another example. Started with friends. And go on and on and on. Do it with friends. But you can go it alone. It takes a lot of work and focus. And you make a lot of mistakes, but you can do it alone. I don't want to do it alone, but I don't want to get stuck saying, okay, yeah, I can't rely on this person, so I just go in and do it. Sometimes I'm looking for a guest, right? I haven't had a guest in a while because, I want Shayna Ferrigno on, but we can't seem to get we had a great conversation, and then things fell off the wayside. I don't know what happened to her. Maybe, her dad, Lou Ferrigno, said, yeah, that's Zinni. I like that Zinni, but he's not like big media like the others. I want the big media. I'm kidding, Lou's an awesome guy. But Lou's a tough guy. Lou Ferrigno's a tough guy. Lou Ferrigno played the Incredible Hulk. So, yes, I know Lou Ferrigno's daughter now. So, and Joey says, who and what needs $25,000? I do. $25,000. If you have $25,000, Jovi, I will... we can arrange a percentage ownership in Zinni 62 Media. And I can definitely employ that to expand, to actually hire a person on a limited basis and really spruce up the blogging and the vlogging delivery effort and launch. If I had the $25,000, I would begin at a small scale to launch the the live stream effort. What I mean by that is this. Mike Lowry and Richard set up live streams on Zinni 62. If you're a partner here, a manager on my channel, you can make your own live stream. So if you have a live stream you want to do somewhere and you want to do it on Zinni 62, write me an email with a pitch, okay? And we'll go from there, see where it goes. Because, you might be an event that I want on this channel. But what I discovered is that Mike Lowry could set up a live stream. I could set up a live stream. Richard could set up a live stream. 3 of us on live stream, 1 channel all at once. I discovered that by accident. YouTube doesn't have that explicitly explained, spelled out in the instructions. But if you have managers, and I'm allowed up to 50 managers, that's a fantastic basis for a media company. So my $25,000 would go into developing that. I would pay the live streamers to do that, and then set a little bit aside for working capital. So there you go, and travel. So there we go. So you have $25,000. Put it in the PayPal, okay? Barry Lee needs $29,000. Barry Lee's got medical bills there. Woo. So the Noriega says JT won't come on with me. I know Rio. Well, I'm not saying he would. You know, I would ask JT only to have him say no. But I don't know how JT feels about me or what. And I don't spend a lot of time thinking about it. I'm going to ask him, and if he says no, no. But you never know what he might say. Because I've had a number of people on my live streams and my videos where I thought they were going to say no, and they said yes. I've had William Shatner on twice. I have had, my goodness, Tracy Birdsall. I've had, well, Lou Ferrigno. It took me years to get him on. He finally let me interview him. Stephen Collins, who played Star Trek The Motion Picture, I've had on. I have had Mimi Rogers, the actress. Ed Asner. I've had Gary Busey, you know. I've had a number of people. I mean, just a number of people on here that stars that have passed away since, like Malachi Throne, who played in It Takes a Thief in Star Trek. I mean, on and on and on. So you never know what a person will say. I've had the Commissioner Goodell on many times. Everybody here knows that. So you don't know until you ask, right? And I haven't asked, is what I'm trying to say. And everybody loves to get exposure. Tony Bruno I've had on here a bunch of times. All right? So Comic-Con is July 19th through the 23rd. I'm seeking sponsors for Comic-Con, by the way. Jabber says, Raiders without Davis family is like Oakland without the Raiders. True. John Mark says, Jabber, get used to the fact that Davis may lose the Raiders. John Mark says a point. Giovanni says, let's just say these jokes take the Raiders and watch our boat sink. William Shatner is a good guy. And John Mark says, Zinni, I may kick the $25,000 in for you. John Marks, you the man. If you do that, you're a partner. I'm serious. I'm making you a partner in this. Let's talk, because it is a corporation. I got a lot to talk about. I already have the corporate documents drawn up by a lawyer years ago. So I am not whistling Dixie. And I happen to be in Dixie right now. So, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And John needs to turn 500,000. Now, Outspoken Voices. Hey, Outspoken, thank you very much for the comment earlier I featured. He says, the Young Turks has been moving toward a corporate structure seeking influence of power politics. That's been his thing for some time, and I don't blame him at all. And he's at my friend's event tomorrow, which has a lot of power players. Tracy Swedlow has really done a top-notch job over the last 11 years of building the TV of Tomorrow event into a must-be-at function. It really is, and I'm blessed that she asked me to be on this as press. I really am. I'm not there, but I'm blessed. I'm not going to do Pantheon, and I'll explain why in a second. Joseph True says, Steve Collins, need the word to get out more. Just need more advertising. GoFundMe is on the rise. Oakland Athletics also have a 5-game promo going on, 50%. Yeah, that's definitely do that, folks, and I will push that more. In fact, speaking of the whole issue of fundraising, I've got a surprise for everybody tomorrow. I repeat, speaking of the issue of fundraising, it's a new thing, okay? It's not a contribution in the standard sense, but I've got a surprise for everybody tomorrow. Now, Todd says that Christensen says, I seriously doubt that Al Davis even wanted Mark to ever run the team. He made Amy Trask his second. Mark was sleeping on someone's couch. Now, Jabber Esquire says, dinner? Sure. Now, yeah. John Mark says, I'll try to kick in on some tickets for the A's 5 game plan. And, Unspoken Voices, this goes back to your comment regarding Patreon. I refuse. If you go to zenny62.com, you can, in the investor area, it's IR up there, you can invest. It goes into the PayPal account that we have set up. I have my own blog. Why do I need to give web traffic to yet another platform? I give enough as it is to YouTube because it's too expensive for me to host 11,000 videos on my site. But I insist on owning as many platforms as possible, creating and owning. Pantheon is against that, okay? It's not like WordPress, a blog content management tool. No, it's not that at all. So I went to it, I looked at it, I set up an account, and I stopped there. I said, I am not giving them my traffic at all. Now, some may say, well, gee, if you're not there, then others on Pantheon can't find you. But my point is this. Pantheon, from my estimation, has not become so big that I need to have a presence there. And not only that, I want to push people to zenny62.com. You see what I'm getting at? I have my own platform. Now, that's why I do that. So, 831 Scott says, JT made his name on the Jim Rome show. He is a New York Giants fan. He did make his name on the Jim Rome show. I remember that. He said, I would love to see what he had to say if there was the Giants moving to Las Vegas. He does seem to support the Raiders going there. He does. He lives in Vegas, right? And John Mark Zenny doesn't need a sponsor working on it for Comic-Con. Oh, thank you. Because I actually sent off a proposal to the creators of the audience TV show Mr. Mercedes yesterday, and I'm really excited about it. I hope they say yes, because I have never done this before, right? I mean, I've done sponsorships before, but what I pitched them, which I can't talk about right now here, but what I pitched to them, kick ass, man. It just is. Whew. It just is, and I say that. Now, so Sink is looking for corporate donors. Ask Donis. Yeah, that's why he is. He's looking for corporate owners. He's looking to get big. Sink wanted to be on MSNBC. Remember, he had a stint on MSNBC for about a minute, but his overplaying his political leanings cost him his job. So he forgot that he was working for somebody else. So, and I don't say that truculently, but it's a fact. So, let's see here. We've got, it's 9:59. It's almost 2 in the morning. I am going to stop at 2, folks. I have gone a long way. So, Ruben asks, so are you still looking for sooner for Comic-Con? I'm leaving a response for Comic-Con, Ruben. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. In fact, I have a page. 831 Scott. Here's my email. My email here is at zenny62.com. Right there. Okay. And have I got an indication as to whether or not they're taking the tarps off? Not yet. Have a good night. Yeah, it's 2 o'clock, folks. In the east, which makes it 11 o'clock back there. And Todd's, let's see here. I think I got Todd's comment. And yeah, so folks, I am. Jabber, Zenny, I may have updated photos for the AllNet Resort tomorrow. Please send them. Hey, please. This would be, again, Zenny at zenny62.com. And I'm going to work on getting Mr. Robinson on. That'll be exciting. I think he could spill the beans on a number of topics that are in our interest. I really do. Hey, everybody, I want to thank you all. Yeah, thank you. Thumbs up. Yeah, and this has been a watershed night. God bless you all from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so, so very much. You all are outstanding. I mean, just outstanding. Yeah, you are right. Zenny at Zenny62.com, Donis. That is correct. Barry Lee, Barry Strong. John Marks, thank you, and I'll talk to you soon. I'm writing Barry Strong. Strong. Got it. Thank you all so very much. And I'll say good night. And I'm not going to do the Don Cornelius thing. I'll just say thank you all very much. I'm going to leave that to Don. I'm going to come up with something different. Thank you all. I think Don says it better than I do because I don't have that big fro, you know. All right. Good night, everybody. Good night. Have a good one. Thanks, and thank you again. Thanks again. Very strong.